Good morning, everyone. My name is Aisha Singh, and I'm from grade 10. What if I told you the next World War might start with a tweet, not with a tank? Sounds dramatic, right? But in today's world, it's not far from reality. Diplomacy, war, and peace have moved from the battlefield to the digital world. Tweet shape international relations. Hackers wage silent wars, and peace campaigns go viral in seconds. Today, power isn't just about weapons, it's about Wi Fi, words, and who controls the narrative. When I first heard about international relations, I imagined two presidents in suit shaking hands in front of bunch of fancy flags, neat, formal, very far away from real life, especially my life. But then I went to buy oil and it was double the price. I remember asking my mom, "Why is everything so expensive at the grocery store?" She replied, "Because of a war in Ukraine." I was so confused. What do a war so far away had to do anything with our kitchen? That's when it hits me. International relation isn't just about governments. It's about economics, psychology, and even social media. It's about all of us. This realization opened a door for me. I began reading about sanctions, global supply chains, and trade routes. Suddenly, things like news headlines and international summits started making sense. Why does a blog port in the Black Sea matter to a grocery store in Delhi? Because goods cross borders, and so do consequences. International relations didn't just become interesting, but urgent. Imagine countries as people sitting at a giant dinner table, sharing food, telling stories, sometimes even arguing, but always needing to talk. That's what international relation really is. But what if someone walks away from the dinner table or instead of listening, they started shouting? That's when diplomacy breaks down. In our global world, international relations helps us understand how countries cooperate or clash over climate, trade, or security. How a war in Europe can affect fuel prices in India. How a tweet can spark global tension. Take Russia-Ukraine war. It made fuel unaffordable for millions of families across the world. It sent oil pricing soaring, triggered sanctions, and forced countries to take sides. That's the ripple effect. That's international relations. One invasion, and people everywhere felt the economic shock. But there's more. It also revealed how information and media can become weapons. Misinformation, disinformation, propagandas. These aren't just buzzwords. These are tools of influence. In this war, the one who controls the narrative is just as powerful as the one who controls the battlefield. Social media is not just for memes, it's a front line. When President Zelensky tweeted emotional pleas, he wasn't just speaking to leaders, he mobilized millions. He used emotion, language, and timing, and that's what made a difference. That's diplomacy in the digital age. But digital diplomacy is just part of the story because as war divides us, climate change should unite us. Whether it's flood in Bangladesh, wildfires in Greece, or rising sea level threatening island nations, disasters cross borders without passport. Agreements like the Paris Accord reminds us the future of diplomacy is no longer about weapons. It's about survival and solidarity. Let's take a step back and talk about another kind of power. When BTS performs in New York or an anime trend takes over TikTok, that's soft power. It's how countries build influence through music, fashion, and ideas. And trust me, sometimes it's way more powerful than any military strategy. Soft power shows how countries are seen. Think about how Korean drama made Korean culture globally admired, or how American movies influence global fashion. Culture exports are tools of diplomacy, building bridges without passports. Now, more than ever, young people are connected. What happens in one country pops up on everyone's phone around the world. We are not just spectators, we are participants. And this is especially important because the youth of today have grown up in a digital borderless world. We sign petitions, we raise awareness, we join exchange programs, we debate in model United Nations. That's digital diplomacy. It's not future, it's already happening. Remember when climate activist Greta Thunberg called out world leaders on Twitter? It wasn't a tweet, it wasn't a press conference, it was a tweet. Yet it reached millions, influenced global decisions, and made headlines. That's the power of youth and social media. It's real, it matters. But digital diplomacy is not just limited to the West. Young activists from Asia, Africa, and Latin America are using the internet to push for justice, education, and a change. From protests in Iran to climate marches in Kenya, youth are using digital tools to reshape global conversations. We don't need power or politics to make a change. All we need is action, awareness, and a voice. The youth of today can be the diplomats of tomorrow, not armed with guns, but with values, compassion, and courage. But let's be honest, being globally aware sounds overwhelming. In fact, it is. How do we keep up with so many crises around the world? Where do we even start from? The answer isn't to do everything, it is to do something. Learn about an issue, support one cause, listen to a different person from a different country. That's where it all begins. International relations isn't just about countries and leaders, it's about people, it's about us. If a war can raise prices all around the world, then your voice can also create peace. If a tweet can escalate a crisis, then your tweet can also inspire solidarity. So learn about the world, care about others, speak up. Because the future of international relation doesn't belong to politicians. It belongs to people like us, young, aware, connected, ready. Maybe the future diplomat won't be someone in a suit in a meeting room, but a teenager, live streaming solutions, crowd scoring aid, and building peace with Wi-Fi instead of walls. The world is changing, the power is shifting, and now it's in our hand. Thank you.